Thank you for enjoying your sweetest moments with me, Merging Timelines. I'm your host, Melly Mells, an angelic melody Melanie, the airy fairy mystic. Today, family, we are back where it all started in 2018. The views are the same, and so is the home. Well, actually, the home doesn't look the same. It's actually refurnished on the outside. And I wish that I could have offered it as a living example of the topics we're going to get in today. Because when I look at the home and I think about the last time I was here, it didn't look anything like it looks today. So let its example, even though you cannot see it, just the words of it be pillars of what we're actually going to talk about today. Our homes are being rebuilt. It's the new world. It's the year of 7. And that's what that means, that the individual homes of the people will now be rebuilt. And we understand as the people that the individual homes being rebuilt are the ones of the mind. All right, family. Now that we've gotten to that, let's get into the notes. Thank you so much for allowing us to gather and commune for the messages that we will receive today, Most High. All that is in the name of the Most High. Okay, that's our intent for reading. That's our intent for being. It is to come here and ascend into the Most High versions of ourselves. And we can only do this by receiving the messages that is given by the people of the Most High. And those messages are the ones that include all of the people, right? When you start to create more and more separation amongst the people, I don't care what title you give it, its label, it is defined by its action. Let's get into it. The children do not need saving. Hear me out, family. They need more harmonized reflections of themselves. And what I mean by that is, I will always state something and internalize it. Give you an example from my own being. That way it seems less of a judgment, right? The reason why I believe that we need more harmonized reflections is because even if we do not plan to go back to the start of its creation, we are to give it respect. And what I see amongst the collective is that we disconnect because we cannot meet a leveled playing field, a level ground. So the messages I put out is nothing more but to level the playing field as I represent the in-between, merging timelines. And I'm very happy to do so. I do not expect to be at the top, and I do not expect to be at the bottom. I am created of a mother and a father, so I am the in-between, okay? I am the child. And yes, I am 32. I'll be 33 next year. I am 32. If you don't know, now you know. But that has nothing to do with my being, right? Those are just identities. Again, the being is within the expressions that are put out from the persons, the persona. I represent the middle so passionately because my parents have been separated for 10 years. And I felt every bit of it, I felt every bit of it trying to maintain a relationship on either end. I'll be honest, I already talked about this, so I won't cover a lot of it. I will just tell you that where we are today is that I have accepted as the child, and maybe a lot of you have as the collective, because I read for the collective. And the collective is those who are making and taking the actions to stand firm in the word and the action, okay? And so those people are the ones that are making these big shifts. And they don't all look the same. They don't all play the same position, okay? So don't think you're going to be able to look in plain sight still, family. We're all in the illusions. I came to the conclusion, rather, that I was not being heard. And I told you that last time, right? That people do this thing where they can't meet you with an understanding. They either end the conversation or they move on to the next topic, something that they still feel more firm in standing and receiving in, right? So those things we allow time and space. We've already spoken about that on other terms. I use the example of Mars and I show you that we aren't always on the same page. This separation that we feel has multiplied and affects even the ones that we tried to be better at doing than those we've witnessed. But the Most High is the Most High. And they have a funny way of showing you back the mirrored image just so you can extend its compassion for its use in inner stance. Let's get into the next point. I am a shadow priestess at heart, so please do not feel anything but love from the topics I expand on connecting with others. I get the same message from more than one source, and then I receive the importance of its clarity. I inspired many to do not follow, let's start that over. I inspired many who do not follow or reflect its light to read cards by my example, not for any other charge. Accountability helps you ascend in knowing. The influence is the only thing that is being paid in multiplication. So yes, there is acknowledgement, there is money, and there is a simple someone giving back. But the true evidence is within its multiplication. The holiday of Thanksgiving is an example of a gift absorbed for individual gain. Oh, you know we're going to talk about these holy days. We are. If you tap in here, we're talking about the deeper meaning because the seas are moving. They're always moving. And as a person who feels for the darkness, something that we don't see and absorbs it, I found that my strength is only by reflecting its clarity. Because I have to admit to you, one of my insecurities that I keep getting reflected back to me is the darkness under my eyes. Now, I've never been a person too in tune with the way I look, and that's why I can have family members tell me, you need to do something about your hair, you need to do something about your teeth, you need to do something about your face, right? At some point when you're trying to be received by those you love, you start to just internalize its focus. And then you start to ask yourself, why are my eyes so dark? Now you can choose to believe whatever you want to believe, but I came for my individual truth. And here is what I understand about it. I'll repeat that part again. The holiday of Thanksgiving is an example of a gift absorbed for individual gain. We see this because the message becomes repetitive over time on its reflection of its stagnation, right? There's 3 angles in time and space, and you know we discuss it here on Merging Timelines. We're going to discuss all the times our father world, our mother world, and our being, the 2 of them placed together because we are binary binary beings, right? As figures of why they took two animals wherever they went on this ark, right? So we're sailing, and the only thing that was necessary for replication was two, right? But they never discussed the importance of the two's harmony, and that was the most troubling part, because it was the most fruitful awareness that the collective could have gained in order to give back to its people. So I get a little offended, off-ended, when I feel like I'm connecting with somebody I don't even know from a can of paint, but they are then deciding to define our alliance by the tools instead of, again, the being. So with that statement, I say that the rise and the fall externally only reflect prolonged rise in its individual kingdom, 1111, and ultimately our new world. So cognitive dissonance is representative in the word and action split amongst the people. I had to look deep into that word because it was reflected through the soul tribe that I was connecting with, still connected with, because I never use something from another that I found of some sort of value and throw them away and keep it. That is to show my respect even in its opposition. I am a spiritual leader, so I do not demonize tools, but I ask you to reflect on its use. It is very, very clear to see those of us who have come into the tools on their own, and those of us who have come into tools because we've witnessed another use it and gain some sort of light. Either the angle that you have come into the influence of your life, the best thing we can do in transcending them is to free ourselves of its polarity. Just a beautiful butterfly flying through the message. So that's why the reading is as above, so below. I remember in 2020 when a lot of physicians and medical people quit their jobs. They saw, they witnessed firsthand a lot of the hypocritical things that we were told. I feel for those people because while they made a stance on their feeling and went against the false world in knowing that they wouldn't have that to stand on anymore, their license, their title, their bread and butter, right? Those people stood on that. I feel for those people because who knows where they are now, you know? Because the world is still subscribing to this system. And why, family, is our world still subscribing to a system time and time again? Because the people are still divided, right? And why are the people divided, Mel? I'm telling you, the people are divided because not only now are they choosing to go against the false world and become the black sheep, the rebel, they are now demonizing the beings. And that's super weird to me, family. It's super weird that we can find resonance within the darkness, the shadow, the pain. But the pain still resonates. It's way too deep, family. It's way too deep still within our fabrication. If we can rock the boat, right? If we can go from light to dark and then somehow stand in our being, but externalize a lack of compassion. That shows that the only disconnect within the binary flow of the individual being would be its individual word matched with its individual action. So my closing statement to you all is that I live by example. I never claim to be perfect. I lead by my examples offered to its audience to reaffirm, only to reaffirm the lessons I am applying to get to higher levels of being with and without. Let's start the reading, family. I hope its delivery wasn't too harsh. I have to go through my own cycle like a washing machine every time I write these down. And that's why I try to write the messages down. And I also try to speak it out loud, because I'm a person who believes strongly in mirror work. So I have spoken time and time to myself in the shower, doing my combing my hair, cleaning my room. I've spoken to myself enough to conduct even something to read by, right? And so when I come to put it together in my being, along with my cards, it is nothing but the tools that I use to be myself. And this could be for you or it couldn't be for you. It really doesn't matter, because it doesn't have to be for you. You have to be for you. Sorry, collective. I just get a little triggered by us. And I'm not saying all of us do that, because all of us don't do that. But I need to put out the message because it's important that those who come to receive it listen to it. And even if you don't accredit it, because again, I don't live for that validation. You watch the last 2 videos. The light is within me, it's within you. It is for the people to reflect it so that we can become one big life force. A life force that changes the way of living for all beings today. I did tell you that we are creating new homes. And the new homes start with those who can carry the highest message. Those people will be gifted homes. Whether they buy it themselves because they've saved, whether they're gifted through a family or a friend, or for some weird way, they just obtain it from the Most High. That collective, I believe, is you, and I believe it's me. Why? Because we house in our mind's world the highest message, the one that we've tasted ourselves before we sat it at the table, in which we knew they were going to say, this is the best word I've ever swallowed. And it didn't have to come printed already. It just needed to be moving through its being. Y'all know me. I will stand by everything I say, and one thing I don't do is run back to the shield in which I came from, right? I'm really triggered by those of us who do that to people. They run back to the shields, the same shield they left, and then they blame the leaving the shield on you. I've been blamed my entire life for things, family. I'm not the one you want to blame. Most High, what are the messages that need to come through the tarot for our collective? This is a collective reading. It's intent to hold space and reflect back what you already know. I'm not telling you something you don't already know. And this is why you don't look to blame me for the things you already know. But to be more of its examples, so that the multiplication we see is nothing more but the A we earned in accountability. Okay? I don't know why I'm getting so feisty with the collective today, but I'm sure it's not you guys personally, right? I'm sure that what I'm speaking to is just the reflection of the embodiments that you are carrying right now, because I know that through our connectivity, we're all carrying a bit of residue, a bit of this lack of accountability from everyone else around you, who's even in better positions. But because they have these false light, they can extend its evidence. But no more, family. Between you and I, no more will that be. Because it's a new world, it's the year of 7. And we came to own our being. I feel good. I hope you feel good too. And I hope that whatever comes through this message of the Most High reminds you that you are making the biggest change. You're making the real change. You're becoming the real light. Because when the black sheep stop licking their wounds and looking for anyone that will say, oh, this boo-boo is not yours, somehow you fell into it. And when the false light world looks at their own shit instead of somebody else's, we'll all be being. You and I will hold that knowing as it comes to its turmoil. Because this month, I do believe, October, with a very big artist, shout out to that artist because the music is, right? emoji for the dolls that follow that entity, that God, for its influence, right? Respect, because an influence, a powerful influence is a powerful influence, no matter its intent. But its multiplication is something that we see, and it's rocking the boat, family. Like there is no no coincidence in the fact that they are both water, head and heart. And you know from day one on merging timelines, we don't make this up. We read for the head and we read for the heart. We don't know about the other planets. I see the sun and I see the moon and I see its rotation, okay? So let me tell you, when they use those 2 C's within one being, it's to rock you to sleep, okay? And it might feel good, but it feels good when we go to sleep every night. When you wake up in the morning, you got to go back to the work. How you really feeling though? Thank you, Most High. What's going on in the collective's environment right now? Thank you, Most High. What's going on in the collective right now for the environment? Oh, we got hidden things. Hidden. Whoa, a lot of hidden things. There's a lot of things that you don't see, collective. Let's never mind that. Keep going. What's in our heart then, collective? What's in our heart, Most High? Somebody saw through their own illusion and they want to extend an apology to you. Will you accept it? Will you accept it if they claim it to be their own? That is nothing but a projection to you. Will you accept it, collective? I hope that you will. It's not Judgment Day. I hope that you'll love them even though they've been sitting on it. They're thinking real long and hard about something so simple because they expect to be rejected by you the way they've rejected you. No, we didn't come to be a replication of that. So we can create more of its shit out here? That makes no sense. What's going on with the influence? What's the biggest influence? The biggest influence collective is the balance. Whoa, it is the balance, my loves. So no, this is going to be given in a material form. It's time to get paid, family. And when I say that in excitement, it doesn't mean we're getting money, because we know that's not of any value. Like, you can't take it with you when we transcend, right? And that's all we care about. At the end of the day is the fact that I could be gone today. But what I want you to know is that I'm leaving empty, okay? I'll offer every bit of its experience for those that are still being experimented on. You're giving this to people, and that's the gift. Not the money, not the clothes, not the makeup, not the ring, not the house. It's message. Just to create balance amongst its people. That's the judgment. That's the true judgment, family. And that's the strongest message right here today. That the real judgment has always been through our own being.